Welcome, everybody, to this episode of the Marketing Guides for Small Businesses podcast. I'm Ken Tucker, your host today. I'm from Changescape Web, and I'm joined by Jeff Steck of Tylerica Marketing Systems, Tylerica Marketing Systems in Austin, Texas. Ian Cantle, who is with Outsourced Marketing in Bradford, Ontario, Canada. And then Paul Barthel, who is here in the St. Louis metro area with me, also with Changescape Web. I get to thinking, we're now past Labor Day. And so now it's a sprint to the finish to the end of the year for a lot of businesses. And it's also usually the most crucial time for many businesses for a variety of reasons. Retail needs to max out sales between now and the end of the year and take advantage of holiday. Home remodeling contractors need to get their calendars filled up with work that they can do to get them through to like next March. And so it's a critical time for everybody. And also, there's just people are ready to buy again. They're back from summer vacations. They've had fun. They're going to start, thinking about how they're going to be spending their money through the rest of the year. So to me, that just screams it's time to talk about sales funnels. And, sales funnels, in my opinion, are the best way to close out the year in a strong way. And so today we're going to kind of drill down on that. I wanted to start first by really going into the elements of what is a sales funnel. Many of you may know, many of you may not know. And so, Ian, I'm going to start with you. Can you kind of talk about the page components that make up a sales funnel on somebody's website?
Of course I can, but I like to break the rules, Ken. So I'm actually going to take a step back and remind people, and I know you won't argue this point, but have a plan. Like I see sales funnels as actually a big shiny object right now for a lot of people, where they chase after sales funnels because there's lots of noise, lots of Facebook ads, there's TikTok videos. And they can be incredibly powerful, but you need to know what your goals are, who your audience is, what their pain points are, what your unique solution to their pain points is, how you will measure success. Without that plan, like, what are you going to do, right? You're going to do lots of activity. You're going to create something and you hope for the best. And that's not the best strategy to start with. So I just wanted to pull us back a little bit and say, do a plan. And then I know we're not really covering this in this discussion, but how are you going to get people to your funnel? That's right. Like a huge other discussion, I think. But
it is for sure.
Get people into your sales funnel, and ads is a big way to do that. But there's other ways as well. So,
yeah.
And what is it that's going to compel them to come? So, but then once they come to your landing page, so assuming you have a plan, assuming you have a way of getting people to your landing page. This is the first thing after the ad that somebody will see once they click on your ad, your link, your email. And it should be designed to quickly capture their attention and encourage them to sign up or purchase. And part of that strategy I was talking about should be understanding their buyer's journey. So their pain points, you understand who they are. What questions will they be asking? Because in a landing page, you pretty much have to answer all their questions that you perceive that they're going to be asking so that they can take action, whatever that action is that you've decided on for your landing page. I would also suggest you need to have a core difference that's really clearly defined on your landing page, because again, there's lots of noise. Just because they come to your landing page doesn't mean they're not going to compare you to the competitors. So you need to create, a core difference that sets you apart from the competition. You need clear headlines. Needs to be compelling, needs to state the benefit of what you're offering. You need subheadings, explanations of the offer or the solution that you're presenting. You need to have really clear above the fold calls to actions. And what I mean by above the fold is it's an old newspaper term that before you unfolded a newspaper, people would read the front of the newspaper and it was the main headline. And so that was the most captivating part of it. And so likewise, in a website, in a landing page, your above the fold section before they start scrolling down needs to have really clear calls to actions. So that might be buy now, that might be sign up, that might be download the ebook, whatever it is that you've determined in the strategy phase needs to be there. I think you should also share common pain points, how you solve them. I mentioned that in the strategy part, but then I think you should present those on your landing page. You need a list of key benefits and features. Like, why should somebody choose this solution that you've put together? Social proof, absolutely important. You need to have social proof like testimonials, reviews, case studies, actual people that have experienced you taking their pain away by providing a solution. Visuals, like images, videos, super important as well. So those are kind of the key components I would suggest being on a landing page. And of course, you need like copyright information and that kind of stuff.
Yeah. We may be different in our opinions on this. You do not need a full-blown strategy. You need a strategy for what your offer is around this sales funnel. You don't have to have your entire marketing strategy defined to do this, in my opinion. If you do, to me, the whole purpose of a sales funnel is to accelerate the growth process. And the only way, we're never going to get 100% of things right. From the get-go, creating a landing page with many of the features that you've talked about. Some of those are going to vary based on importance, based on the length of the sale, the complexity of the sale, things like that. But, I think I absolutely agree. You have to think about what you want to do and what your offer is, who your target customers are for the offer. Make sure it's compelling to them. Otherwise, you're going to waste all your time and energy and money. Yeah. But I think all of the elements, like you may not need to have a ton of page copy, for example, if you're doing a promotion to get people to come into your restaurant. Instead, you may need to have great looking pictures and really strong testimonials and reviews from customers, but you're not going to have a ton of page copy, for example, on something like that. So it really, we're talking in generalities
what
here.
What determines that, though?
Well, I think
if you're a business owner, how do you determine?
You have to have an understanding of who you're, what kind of customer you're trying to attract. So you have to do a micro strategy for sure. I'm just saying you're not going to need to do your full-blown business marketing strategy all at once. And I think a sales funnel can be a great way to kind of accelerate growth to fuel maybe some of the other marketing investments that you need to do. So
for sure, I still think like if a business, and yes, every business is different, but I think it behooves the business to have their sales funnel fit inside their larger marketing plan, right? Without that, you're spinning one wheel that may or may not have success. But as we all know, marketing is not a one-trick pony. Marketing now is a complex journey that every single buyer goes on, and there are tons of touch points across your whole marketing continuum that they may be connecting with. And so I think your sales funnel will always be more successful if it fits into your larger plan. Yes, there are people that aren't ready for a larger plan, and then maybe a sales funnel is where they should put that first investment. Maybe it isn't, though. How would they know without a larger plan?
Well, how do any of us know without testing? I mean, the mistake that most people make, we can have this philosophical discussion all day long. The mistake that most people make is when they try to do a sales funnel, they're trying to sell something that nobody really wants or cares about. They think it's cool. They think it's a great idea, but there hasn't been enough validation. And I think in most cases, what businesses need to do, and if they don't already know this, then they're in real trouble anyway, is pick a winner that you already know is a strong performer for you and build your first sales funnel around that to drive, because that's going to give you the fuel to power everything else that you want to try to accomplish. Don't pick some obscure product that you have that you don't even know if anybody ever wants to buy. pick something that's going to be a strong performer for you and give people an incentive. So I do want to kind of finish up on the page
I just want to
strategy
add
too.
something to that, Ken, because
Okay.
it's funny how, maybe you guys have been approached by prospects this way, prospective clients. I certainly have, where they are thinking, hey, we've got this core service offering that we've been doing for years that has made our business successful. Now we're thinking of starting this other new service that's untested in the marketplace. We want to do a sales funnel for that without any learning. So I think what you're saying is absolutely true. Like if you have tried and true processes, systems, products, services, that's the best place to start, because you'll do immense amounts of learning as well.
Yeah. Yeah. So another really important page, which I think a lot of people really dropped the ball on, and we're going to get into more of, complexity beyond this, but can you talk a little bit about the thank you page? Somebody takes that call to action on the landing page, then they go to a thank you page. What should be on that thank you page?
Yeah, the thank you page is actually super powerful. And I think all of us through our journey as marketing consultants have learned this over the years, that originally when thank you pages first came out, it was kind of a courtesy, right? Like it was a way of tracking, because usually you track against your thank you pages because you can't always track against a click, right? So it was kind of this conversion form of measurement. But then through the years, we as marketers have learned a lot that, somebody has just made a micro yes, right? Or it could even be much larger than a micro yes. But let's assume they took a micro yes by doing that initial action on your landing page. Your thank you page is extremely powerful in that you can then present other offers to them. First of all, you thank them for their purchase or their decision, right? For entrusting themselves to you. But then you can really try to move them through their buyer's journey to the next stage, because usually, people haven't, you're not going to buy a home usually off of a landing page. You're not going to buy a car usually off of landing page. Usually they're smaller purchases, smaller decisions, right? So you want to try to move people through their buying process. You want to present upsells, downsells. If you can increase your share of wallet in that by taking another action on that thank you page, that's a huge win for you as a business. I think it offers you, depending on the type of business you are, it presents a really great opportunity to further educate the buyer. So this is a fantastic place to have, first of all, a thank you video, but the thank you video can lead, first of all, make a personal connection or increase that personal connection with them. But then it can also guide them and educate them, because the more education you do, all the statistics point this way, that if you further educate the buyer, they will be more predisposed to buying from you than from your competition, because you're perceived as the expert in the field. So I think that's really key. And then, of course, next steps, like providing them with a path to where they should go next, is really important.
Yeah. So you talked about offers and upsells and whatnot. Jeff, that's really what I wanted you to kind of dig into is, compelling offer. This is where so many people fail. They just, the understanding of what a compelling offer is and how to motivate people to take an offer, is absolutely essential. But then there are a lot, like as Ian said, there, to increase your share of wallet, there are some really cool things that you can do. So can you talk about, those components?
Yeah, sure. And having sat on the sidelines for the strategy discussion, I'm going to start by connecting it back to that and say, yeah, you've absolutely got to have enough of the strategy. And I think, Ken, you use the term microstrategy for your funnel that with a reasonable certainty. You can do some testing, but you need to know with reasonable certainty that your offer is going to resonate with the audience, right? So you've got to do who's the ideal client? Who's this for? Are they going to value it? How are they going to perceive it before you can start crafting offers? And that's where I think, when Ian started talking about strategy, you mentioned MicroStrategy. That is critical.
Can I jump in real quick?
Sure.
Yeah. So, that's a great point. But I think, while we were talking too, if you don't know if you have a good offer, putting together a sales funnel and using it as a test and realizing it's a test, and gathering the information and having all of the right structures and components in place can help you make better decisions moving forward. So if you're doing a product launch, or you're trying to reposition your product in the marketplace, a sales funnel can be a really great, it's not necessarily an inexpensive, although it can be fairly inexpensive in the overall scheme of things, a great way to kind of test out, how the offer might play out in the world. So
yeah, that's a good point. I mean, it goes back to the things are fluid. They're not necessarily locked down in stone. So have a reasonable starting point, but be adaptable. And then, using it as a test is a very viable strategy. I remember Perry Marshall talking about how he chose the title for his book, 80/20 Sales and Marketing. He actually built a funnel, a pre-sales funnel for the book with 2 different titles. And the one that sold better is the one he used to title the book. So you can use funnels for experimenting too, in making an offer at the same time. But going back to the offers, the main offer, what people see when they first get to the landing page, definitely needs to be compelling. It needs to resonate with the target audience. If you're just saying the same thing you say every other time of the year, so what? Why should I bother doing that now? I'll just wait till, next summer when I, have part-time job in the evening, whatever. People are going to respond to what makes sense for them. And if you just say the same thing as everyone else, or you say the same thing you always say, that's not really that compelling. So think about tying into what are people looking for, the time of year, what are they looking for? We're getting to the end of the year. Is it gifts? Is it a good deal? Is it something to set up their next year? And come up with a compelling offer that is different from what other people are doing. It's relevant to what the people want now and in the future as they're going to use the product or use the service. And it taps into that, that ideal client profile, the things that resonate with them, the things that they identify with. And then you can make it time bounded, right? That will create a sense of urgency. If you, order before midnight tonight is the classic standard, right? Yeah. I'm not saying every offer has to have before midnight tonight on it, but if it's just open-ended, it's like, again, well, why should I bother doing this now? You want people to get tuned into it, to go, yeah, that's really cool. I can use that. That's a good deal. And I better act, soon, or I'm not going to have this opportunity for who knows how long. So putting some time limit to create some sense of urgency is important. And that is just psychological, marketing.
Yeah, scarcity as well.
Yeah. And then, quantities are limited kind of thing, scarcity. So scarcity can be time, urgency. Scarcity can be, we only have a certain number of these. When they're gone, they're gone. We won't have any more for, another year. Yeah, there's definitely things you can do to get people thinking, okay, this is an offer that makes sense for me. It's something I'm looking for. It seems like a good deal. I better not think too long or I'm going to miss out. Fear of missing out is one powerful motivator. But at the same time, your offer needs to be easy to understand. So don't make really complicated, lots of conditions. Don't over-explain things. You might give people a path if they have questions, but don't try and anticipate and answer every question and then have a big, long, huge landing page. I still see, you guys probably do too, the long, so-called long form landing page where you've got to scroll for 5 minutes before you get to the end of it. And of course, they're presenting the offer multiple times. If you are going to have a long form landing page, if you do feel you need to present more information than you probably really do, present your offer early, give them a little more information, present the offer again, give them a little more information, present the offer again. But if you've got to have that much information and do that much convincing, then you really got to step back and think, how compelling is my offer? How relevant is it to the target audience?
And if you do that, please have jump links so that if somebody's ready to make a purchase on the page, they just hit the button and it takes them right to where they can actually go do the order instead of having to read through everything.
Right. It's if you ask people to do too much, then they're going to drop off. Right. We call that friction. Yeah. Right? If you create too much friction, you're not going to get the results you want.
Yeah. One interesting downsell, which I never really thought of as a downsell, but I think most people do classify it that way, is actually to give a payment plan. So, I mean, if you're selling something like a course or, even a piece of furniture or something like that, that may cost a couple of $100, maybe a couple of $1,000, people may be really interested in buying that product. They want to buy the product, but they just can't pull the trigger. But if you offer them as a downsell, hey, we've got a payment plan, 3 payments, you could even add a little bit of total cost, to that through the payment plan. That's actually a really effective downsell strategy for.
It's a downsell in the sense that it's not as big a commitment right up front for the customer, but it's a upsell in the revenue sense. Yeah, as you point out, you can actually charge a little more for the value of money, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, this is, the reason that, an increase in your sale from when somebody makes that initial purchase is because, you're not having to try to go through the whole process of acquiring somebody brand new from scratch again. Like you said, they're already in a buying mood. If you've got something that's a nice complementary product, bundle offers are often, you buy a razor, on Amazon, you see this all the time. You buy a razor and, hey, look, I can get a brush and, some nice shaving cream to put on here as a bundle package. Okay. And you don't have to work to get the sale of those other 2 products nearly as hard. and you don't have to spend as much money because you've already got somebody in that buying mood,
Mhm.
knowing that they're buying a product, that those are perfect complementary products. So yeah, so this is where the power really comes in, and most people leave massive amounts of money on the table because they don't come up with the right offer, and then they don't come up with the right upsell, cross sell, downsell strategies. So thanks,
Yeah, I
Jeff.
think the biggest thing is people just they don't think of upsells, downsells, and cross sells. Yeah, cross sells I didn't mention, but yeah, that's other related products are jumping to another, not necessarily the whole thing you're doing right now, adding to it. But hey, if you're interested in this, you might also be interested in this, right?
Yeah,
Or
yeah,
people also buy. You'll see that on e-commerce sites, right? People who buy this also buy this. Those are cross sells.
yeah.
And again, the more you can get things in front of people and get them thinking about it while they're in a buying mood, the more opportunity you have to add to your bottom line.
Yeah. So Paul, let's talk about how you maybe nurture people, when they, because not every sales funnel starts out with a sale. Initially it could be take advantage of download, as Ian said, I think download a white paper or an ebook for free, or sign up, to watch this webinar, for example. Those are still sales pages because you're trying to prime the pump to get people ready to make a purchase, even if it's not step one. And so sometimes when you do that, or even when you do complete a sale, you've got the opportunity, as we've talked about, to really increase your share of wallet. And one of the great ways to do that is to either get people to make that initial purchase, or to increase the share of wallet is with an email nurture series. Could be a text net message nurture series too, but email is generally the easiest, safest route to go. So Paul, can you kind of talk about what kind of emails are we talking about here, and how does that work?
Yeah, first I want to clarify some terminology. We're talking because clarity is important, and we're talking about sales funnels, and these are web pages, landing pages, whatever you want to call them. Should be on your website. It can be on other platforms, but that's usually not the best approach. I won't go into that. There's can be issues with that. And what you're asking me about is a workflow or an automation, and these are the nurture sequences. So and it seems a lot of times people use those two things interchangeably, and they're two different things. So the email nurture series, this is if someone, well, it can be used either way. Usually this is if they don't complete the purchase, and you put them in this email nurture series where you try to explain the benefits, how it's going to make their lives better, what the value is of your product or service. And it's designed to educate. It can be used to encourage repeat purchases if they've already made a purchase, but they didn't take advantage of the upsell or the complimentary sale. It can be used for that, and encourage repeat purchases. But then if they do make the purchase, then you have to if it's a digital purchase, then you can send that via email. If it's
Which
something they
which
can,
could be a coupon, right? I mean, it
yeah,
doesn't have to be a physical product that you send, right?
right. It could be a coupon. It can be some kind of digital asset. If it's a physical product, then obviously you're going to have some solution in place to deliver that. And the problem in the solution, I talked about that a little bit. So these nurture sequences, and these are usually can be cold email, or it can be, like I said, encouraging other purchases. But here's the problem. Here's the solution. Here's the problem you have. Here's the solution we offer, and here's the benefits of it. Testimonials, customer testimonials, include them. And like we were talking about, I think it was Ian was talking about social proof. And then overcoming objections. That I think that kind of works hand in hand with the problem solution email, that they have some sort of objection, but that's usually, well, here's the problem, here's the solution, and And then you have the paradigm shift. And that's, Ken, you might be able to talk to that better than me, but it's
Yeah. I mean, this is straight story brand stuff. So
right.
So basically, the problem solution is you state the problem and you state your solution, and how you solve that problem that the customer has. Overcoming an objection is a separate email in the series, because once you've stated the problem, you've stated your solution, you've given somebody, social proof from customer testimonials, they still may have objections that are keeping them from acting. So addressing those head on and providing an email that talks specifically about, so you may be concerned about the environmentally friendly aspects of our product. Well, let me tell you, here's blah, 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 and then you can kind of spell that out if that was the objection that you felt like it was, one of the biggest ones that they were likely to have. The paradigm shift is, how you're different, that your differentiation from other products, solutions, competitors in the marketplace. So you really work on positioning with that particular email, and then you have another one last email that's really designed to convince people to take that next bigger step. Which is really a sales funnel. Usually is to get somebody to make a micro commitment, to become that first customer initially, or at least raise their hand and say, okay, I'm curious, you got me, tell me more. Then you can use, the email nurture series to kind of enlighten them, educate them, kind of move them through the different phases of the buyer's journey or the sales funnel, to the point where they're ready to make that commitment, to make that purchase, to book an appointment, to place that order, to physically come and visit your place of business, whatever it is where that transaction is going to happen.
Yeah. See, I would just call the paradigm shift the differentiator. That's much more clear. But also,
I think it's overused. I think people have overused the language. I really do like the phrase paradigm shift, because I think it's easy to fall into a trap of, we've talked about this before. Too many people think their differentiator is we provide great customer service. That's not really a differentiator. Could be, but it's probably not one that's very, very differentiating.
Well, it's not compelling, because who's going to say, hey, we have horrible customer service, buy our stuff?
Yeah. But if you're talking about paradigm shift, you have to actually put some meat on the bones.
Right. But then once you have all these emails in place, and this is why you need a good CRM, and you don't want to just blast this out. You have to have wait times in there. I think at least a day, maybe 2 days between these emails that go out. And you want to be aware of when you're sending these out, what time you're sending these out. And there's no one perfect time for everyone. And a while back, it seemed like, I forget who it was, somebody wrote an article. They claimed they had data to back it up, that Monday mornings were a good time to send out your emails. So everyone started blasting out their marketing emails at 6 o'clock Monday morning, which that would just piss me off. But think about this. If you start doing what everyone else is doing, so let's say they do have the data and 8 o'clock in the morning is a good time to send out emails, and you're doing what 50 million other people are doing, your email is just going to get lost. It's probably going to get deleted, not even read. And Neil Patel actually had a good article on this the other day about test your send times. Maybe 8 o'clock in the morning is good. Maybe it's 11 o'clock in the morning. Maybe it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And he even did say there's no perfect time. What's good for one person may not be good for another, but you test and find out what gets the best response. And that's probably the best time to send out your emails. And then you want to track the responses. And again, your CRM should be able to do this. If it can't, you probably need a different CRM. But I think those are the big points. You could go down into the weeds on any of that stuff, but I think those are the major things to consider.
So what kind of tracking responses are you talking about? Like email opens,
Yeah,
clicks on links?
open rates, responses to emails saying, "Hey, I'm interested." Uh,
Clicks on links?
yeah, clicks on links. I was going to say, like with text, I know the big thing with text is they have a great open rate, but I kind of, how do they define that? Because I don't have to open a text to read it. It pops up on my phone. And if it's a short text message, I can read it before it goes away. I don't necessarily have to open it. So when they say open rates for text messages, are they really open rates?
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's why you need to track that, like you said, the clicks on links, the response. Does someone reply, say, "Hey, I'm interested in learning more,"
Yeah. Yeah. And I think, what we've talked about so far is, we've talked a lot about, you have to have a lot of touch points for people to take action these days. There's a lot of noise out there. This is kind of a way to focus your touch points in a concerted effort through a campaign, right? So you've got a landing page, you've got a thank you page if they took advantage of that. You've got the email nurture series, and a lot of people are like, well, why would you want to send 7 emails to somebody who just said, I want to download an ebook? Well, you need to stay top of mind. You need to kind of prime them to say, okay, now you've got the ebook. Here's, like Jeff, you talked about, here's the next step. I mean, sometimes you need to talk about that. You need to help people visualize. Marketing is about transformation. You need to get them to start to visualize, okay, well, I've got this book. It kind of helps me understand my problem, but I don't know where to go now. Help them go there. Help them visualize that. An email nurture series is a really powerful way to do that. So that's why sales funnels done right are really some of the best marketing machines that you could drop in place.
One thing that should be added in this conversation too is, and this is where I think a lot of sales funnels actually fall short, especially if they're being added onto over time or different developers are working on them, which happens sometimes, is continuity. Like from the ad copy to the landing page, to the thank you page, to the offer, to the nurture sequence. Like it's got to have continuity, because again, this is all about the relationship you as a business have with the prospect.
Yeah.
And they'll know if something's not resonant. So make sure you have continuity between all of this, and it will feel very natural and easy.
Yeah.
Jeff talked about making it easy for them to make a decision, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And
I think it's important.
Oh, go ahead, Jeff.
I was gonna say, I think it's important to remember, we kind of dove in on landing pages and offers, but we're talking about a funnel, right? The classic funnel is at the top of the funnel. It's very broad awareness, and you're moving people through the know, like, and trust to potentially buying, maybe needing to do a trial offer first. So that's where the offers come in. But that moving through the know, like, and trust, it's not, you don't instantly go to the sale. You might get somebody's attention. They're ready, willing, and able to buy, and they want to go to the landing page and buy the product, sign up for the service. But it may be, as Paul talked about when he started, it may be that, you're delivering an ebook, or you're delivering a checklist, or something that maybe you didn't even charge for, right? And the offer wasn't a monetary offer. The offer was, hey, get on my email list. I'm going to give you something valuable. And if you don't like what you see, you can leave, but we think you're going to love it. So it's an engineered to bring people through know, like, and trust to get to the big offer, the buy. I think we kind of glossed over that, but that's worth, reminding everyone about right now.
Yeah. And if, Ian, you brought up the point we haven't really talked about, traffic to get people into the funnel. And there are multiple, choices that you can pull from the traffic store. You've got organic SEO, you've got paid ads of a variety of flavors, you've got over-the-air advertising, in-person things that you can do. Tune in a couple of weeks, because we're going to have who I think is the absolute master at figuring out how to drive traffic and, through funnels to get people to take action and do that in a really cost-effective, powerful way. And that's Allie Bloyd. So tune in a couple of weeks. Really excited to have her on as a guest. One of the things that I wanted to do to kind of wrap up this episode is, now that we've talked about what a sales funnel is, the components that are in place. And look, you don't have to have everything in place that we've talked about. The more that you can put these things in place, I think the better your performance is going to be overall. It's going to drive down your cost over time. But, but every business is in a different situation. And every business, has a little bit of a different nuance or complexity. So I wanted to talk about different sales funnel ideas for different types of businesses across a wide range of niches. So Paul, can you kind of give an idea or two, maybe pick one, and if we have more time, we can come back and kind of address, others, but pick one in the home services or home contractor realm, in terms of what a sales funnel looks like.
Yeah, sure. Okay, I'll go with painters. So, and we talked about these components, but so how does it apply specifically to painters, for instance? So you have your landing page, and you can have before and after pictures of painted projects. If you use eco-friendly or offer eco-friendly paint options, that can be important to some people. You can pretty much every home service contractor offers free estimates, but just let people know that you do that, because if you don't, they may wonder if it's a free estimate or if they're going to have to pay for that. And like I said, with the eco-friendly, so we have a painter client out in California that they're, what is it, green certified? Is that what it is?
Yeah,
I think that's what it is. And that's important to a lot of people. So any kind of certifications you have, any associations that you're a member of, point that out, because it goes to credibility. And then we've talked about the offer and a compelling offer. And we see this all the time, whether it's the sales funnel or they're running ads. They don't really have an offer. It's pretty much, here's our product or service, buy our stuff. That's not an offer. So, and we see it all the time. A lot of business, they don't have an offer and they don't want to have an offer. Well, if your competitor has an offer, guess who they're going to go with? So you need a clear and compelling offer. And then we've talked about like one-time offers or upsells. It can be like a package deal. So let's say they're having interior painting done and say, hey, okay, we'll give you a discount because we're already out here if you want your cabinets painted, or do you have any wallpaper that needs to be removed, anything like that. You're already out there. You've already got your crew out there. You've already got your equipment out there. Give them a discount, and they may go ahead and say, yeah, let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to save 30%, because maybe they were going to do it anyway at some point, just not right then and there. But you said, hey, okay, I'll save 30%. Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. So, and we've talked about the downsells. I'm not sure what that would be with a painter, because
it could be like power washing. You're not ready to paint yet, but you want to kind of make your house look a little bit better on the outside. Maybe a power wash.
That could be. And then your email nurture series, that's I don't know if it would be, you could do a nurture series, but I would see it as kind of a cross-sell kind of series where, and again, this goes back to your CRM, that let's say you did interior painting. Well, you could tag them and then you could send them an email about exterior painting or cabinet painting if you didn't do it, because you don't want to be sending them emails about interior painting if you just did that. But if you didn't do cabinet painting or you didn't do the exterior painting, you can send emails to them specifically about that.
Yeah, so, as you know, these are just brainstorms, guys. So
right, exactly.
These aren't based on the strategy or the micro strategy discussions, which we've all agree are really important. We just want to kind of give you guys some ideas to stimulate your thinking, and really, it's best to kind of work with somebody who does a lot of this, because we've been there, done that. We see what works, what doesn't work across a wide range of industries. But again, just to trigger some thoughts, because now is the ideal time to kind of put one of these things in place. If you've never done it before, or if you've done it before, you can no longer procrastinate if you want to close out the year strong. So Jeff, let's talk about maybe like some retail locations where people actually go to a physical place of business to make a purchase.
Yeah, they still do that. What?
They do. I did it the other day.
Yeah, I think let's use like a custom clothing boutique as an example. Of course, you want to stay in touch with people, right? So you'd like to build an email list for future purposes. You can use online methods to get people to your website. You can get them to sign up. And I think you said earlier, like maybe delivering a coupon in an email. That's a great way to get people to give you their email address. People aren't just going to want to get on another newsletter list. And by the way, never call it a newsletter list, but people will give you their email address in exchange for something of value. So if you use an ad or SEO, whatever, you get them to your website, you get on a landing page and they see, custom made garments. They see ensembles that go together. They see where they can go do a virtual fitting, or if you offer a personalized style quiz, that's really cool, because then you're gathering information you can use in the automations that Paul was talking about earlier. But you get them there, and then you say, hey, give me your email address. I'm going to send you a coupon for 25%, whatever it is, whatever makes sense for your business. Then they have a reason to come in. Again, time bound it. Say, come in, by the end of the month, come in 2 weeks from now. You'll get this, extra that you wouldn't be able to get otherwise. If they were looking at custom made garments, maybe it's a discount coupon there. That's a cool thing with being online, is you can start mix and matching what people are interested in by their behaviors with what you offer them. But give them a reason to come in, give them a coupon, get them in the store. And then maybe before they come, you could even send them an email that said, oh, by the way, when you come in, here's a second coupon we think you might like. So now there's your one-time offer, right? Your upsell offer. If they come in the store and they look and they're not convinced, you talk to them, and then maybe you get a sense, okay, they're not ready to buy the the Armani suit. Maybe they'll buy here's another off the rack suit that we think you might like, right? You have the opportunity to, when you've got their attention, talk to them, explore other things that they might need, feel out where they are price point wise. Can you move them up? Can you move them down? You can, after the fact, send them again information. If they made a purchase, if they didn't make a purchase, once you get their email list, you can keep them on the nurture series, and especially if you know their interests, send them offers about things they're interested in, send them upsells. If you know they didn't make a purchase, then suggest the next time around maybe something a little lower price point. Again, it's about building the relationship. It's about presenting the offers to them that they want, and getting them to keep you top of mind and come into the store when they need something.
Yeah. I think a lot of people they stop moving down this path because they think it's always discount. Doesn't have to be that way. It can be add value. Mm-hmm. Maybe you need to get a little bit of a discount to get them in the first place. Or maybe you just need to emphasize the value of why they need to buy your thing over somebody else. As an example, for a one-time offer follow-up, after somebody gets that initial coupon to come into the store, it could be, hey, look, when you come in, make sure, to round out your ensemble, make sure that you also ask our sales associate when you come in, to look at, the appropriate accessories. And you just kind of get them primed to think, okay, yeah, I'm going to walk in. This is what I want to buy, or this is what I'm bringing me in for. But, oh yeah, I want to go see these other things too, because if people are there, they're already in that buying mindset. You don't have to offer them a discount. You just have to remind them, oh, by the way, here's some other cool things that could go along with this.
Right.
So, yeah. Ian, let's talk about, how about like restaurants or caterers?
Sure, I'll do restaurants because I think what you were talking about with discounts leads really well into restaurants. And I would just say this, like a lot of restaurants do discount. They do, special deals of a day, that kind of stuff. But, let's talk about the landing page first. You get them to your landing page. The offer will be key to all of this, but, showcase amazing looking, mouth-watering dishes. Make people hungry when they're looking at it, because the chances are if they're clicking on your ad or they're coming here organically, it means they're probably looking for a restaurant. Make it easy for them to make reservations if your restaurant requires that, or it would benefit everybody involved. Provide a loyalty program, talk about that. Have reviews, right? We talked about social proof, but have reviews, especially related to the particular offer that you have. But make the offer really compelling. You can have first time offers, right? If you're a new customer, come in for this. Special price fixed menu. Things that I actually think are even better than that are when you offer something with a purchase. So, free appetizer with an entree. I think those are, first of all, fantastic because it exposes people to more of your menu that they might not otherwise have or try. Sometimes if people are cash strapped, especially in our current economy, they might not upspend or spend a little bit more for an appetizer. They might hold back that amount of money. And this just gives them an opportunity to treat themselves and the people that they're with. And you're kind of the hero because you've made that happen. Upsells, you can offer appetizers, you can offer drinks, you can offer desserts. I mean, desserts are a classic one, right? So if they get an entree, if they place an order, get a free dessert or get a discounted dessert or something like that. Again, it's looking at the overall share of wallet. And so restaurants are usually really savvy at this because they make it with the purchase of an entree. Fast food makes it with the, buy a drink, get this, right? Like, because they know if you're buying a drink, you might want fries to go with that. Or if you buy fries, you might want a drink because you'll be thirsty. And then, you can do email nurture sequences, but I think these are more like staying top of mind, so that once somebody is in your universe, just making sure they're aware of exclusive offers you might have for their subscription base, daily specials, seasonal events or promotions. People forget that sometimes foods change over seasons and our tastes change sometimes. So it's good to remind people that, offering craft dinner in the middle of winter might be a good, comfort food for people. Recipe ideas behind the scenes, all of that kind of stuff are really valuable.
Yeah, cool. Let's try to hit a couple more pretty quickly. One each. Paul, I was just wondering, someplace like a med spa or a massage studio, you got one that you want to talk about there, maybe?
Sure. Med spas is good. You can offer virtual consultations, provide financing options, because some of those treatments can be expensive. So that's something you have to put in place. And a lot of med spas, they actually do have that in place because some of those things are expensive. And it's generally not covered by insurance because it's, not a required medical thing. Before and after pictures, yes, you can even do that with their permission, especially if it's like Sonabella. They do this all the time on their commercials. They show the before and after pictures. And have an offer. It doesn't have to be, like Ken said, a discount. It can be a package deal. If you get this treatment, we'll throw this treatment in, because every one of them have services that really don't cost them anything. So if you pay for this service, we'll give you this service. It's, the same kind of thing we've been talking about. And I guess that would be the one-time offer, the upsell, a membership program that, not sure what that would be for a med spa, but I know I've seen them. I've never looked into them because I don't go to med spas, but I know I've seen med spas that do offer membership programs. And then again, with the whole email nurture sequence, and especially with med spas, is a really good candidate for this because they can send educational content. They can send content or emails about other services and how they can benefit them, things they can do at home themselves.
Yeah.
And, exclusive offers, get them to sign up for your newsletter, and the only people that get these offers are people that get their newsletter.
Yeah. So an example of a membership for a med spa would be you sign up, you become a member, you pay a fee every month to be in that program. As a result, you get discounts on a variety of different treatments. Some people may never come in and redeem, the discounted treatment, but you're still getting recurring monthly revenue from them. So it's a good deal for the business. Potentially is a good deal for the customer, because if they are actively engaged in it, they're gonna see a discount on some of the services that they want to have. So that's kind of what med spas do.
Well, and that's also why there's a certain home improvement store that I won't mention, that their discounts is always in the form of a mail-in rebate, because most people will never send it in.
Yeah. So Ian, let's shift over to you. We only have about 4 minutes left. So let's talk about healthcare providers like either dentist or a chiropractor.
Sure. I think what I'm going to say is probably pretty similar for both, just different services. But I think, the key for the landing page is to showcase your core difference. We talked a bit about that today, so I think that's pretty clear. But you don't want to look like every other dentist out there. And you want to create that paradigm shift that you talked about, Ken, where, you're changing the conversation with people right away. There's lots of ways to do that. Focus on your ideal patients. Don't just focus on any patient. Focus on the ideal patient for your practice and for this offer in particular, right? So, an example of this is you could do have a special wedding party offer for teeth whitening. That could be a landing page, and you're only looking for people. The top of the funnel ad campaign is actually focused on people that are, in a wedding party coming up.
Yeah.
Focus on the common pain points and solutions. Focus on what you guys offer as dental services. Offer online scheduling. Make it easy for them, right? Provide patient reviews, before and after photos, if not gross. And I stress that. I see lots of dentists sharing gross photos. They take personal pride in these gross photos.
Yeah.
Don't show gross photos. Show
Exactly.
nice, people that are keeping their mouth closed, or maybe not a close up, but bad teeth, and then show a great smile. That's what we care about as people. We want a great smile.
Yeah.
We want to be able to be accepted. Create a compelling offer. Some of those with dentists are things like free dental exam or reduced cost dental exam. A discount on cleaning. Again, I don't like discounts a lot. I would rather see this bundled. And a lot of dentists I've seen that are successful at this, they include a free electric toothbrush or a free dental exam or something like that. But you get a bulk offer by purchasing something. Teeth whitening is often thrown in, because you want to get people, into that regular, steady stream of doing teeth whitening.
Yeah.
But those are just a few ideas.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah. I love the idea of adding value through bundles instead of always discounting. I mean, a lot of people never take action because they think it's always discount. Sometimes a discount may be necessary to kind of prime the pump, but adding value is also a really great strategy. Jeff, I'm going to give you.
I just want to add one point because it's specific to dentists. The one thing that we've learned over the years is if you offer discounting, you will attract people that want discounts. So be very careful with that, because you can be attracting patients that you actually don't want to attract.
Well, I think that's true for many industries, many types of businesses. Jeff, I want to give you an opportunity to have one last example, maybe like with a professional services company, like a marketing agency or an accountant or somebody like that.
Yeah, I'll hit on accountants real quick. I think marketing agencies may be a little self-serving, but let me say first, most of the principles we're talking about, you get the idea they can be applied, the concepts, to just about any kind of business. Professional services work a little bit differently. They're not going to necessarily be a product that you're going to go buy and take home with you. So you're going to talk about explaining your services and why they're different in your landing page. You want to tell people why they need it, why their life's going to be better when they get it, and how you're different from everybody else. So you may then offer an online consultation, a complimentary consultation. Don't use the word free, use the word complimentary. Generally plays a lot better than free for the point that Ian just made. People looking for cheap stuff are probably not who you necessarily want. So you might offer a tax consultation or a quick accounting review or something like that. If you are going for services, maybe it is a discount on tax prep if it's that time of year. But then what you want to do is upsell into additional services beyond the one-time thing. You want to get into ongoing bookkeeping, ongoing financial planning, periodic reviews, periodic consultations. That's probably where you want to get people, right? So you can suggest the full service package as your big upsell. And then if somebody isn't interested and doesn't go for that, maybe it's a basic version, it's a light version, it's a quick review, it's the initial easy tax form, not the full book of tax forms. So you're looking for those different levels of where you get people's attention, where you can take them, and if they're not ready yet, where can you drop them down to, but still keep their interest and keep them in your nurturing series in your funnel. And then that's your ongoing tax tips, financial advice, news, what's changing. I have a financial advisor client that sends out a newsletter, his analysis of the market. So basically you're keeping in front of people, you're keeping your authority up and keeping people interested in that when they are ready to do more, take the next step, they're going to come back.
Yep. All right. Awesome. Well, hopefully this was helpful for a lot of folks out there. This is one of my absolute favorite topics. This is something that we do a lot with. I create a ton of funnels, for my business and love doing this, for others or just sharing ideas to help them. Ian, we're over time, so it's probably time to have you take us out.
Sure. Thanks to you guys for sharing your expertise, and thank you for our visitors and listeners for sharing this time with us and for learning. Please pass on to us. You can direct message us. You can send emails, but connect with us if you have topics that you need help with. We'd love to help you. Share this podcast with other people that you think would find value in it as well. And until next week, folks, keep calm and mark it on.
See you, everyone.